Pizza maker, where's my pie? Pizza maker, flip the dough high. Pizza maker, make it hot. Pizza maker, thanks a lot.
Okay, so welcome to Pizza Makers, the podcast, the special episode 5 of the podcast, and we're looking at episode 5 of, the actual web series, right? Welcome Franky and Bergamo, my special guest again, and welcome Danny Martignetti. Danny played our pepperoni supply guy in a few episodes. Of course, Danny, we're going to have you back in a few weeks again. Welcome, Franky and Danny.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Chris.
So, Franky, Danny and I are going to try to, not be overwhelmed by your mustache.
It is beautiful. It is. Oh my goodness! Look at that thing.
It is.
Thank you.
The ironic thing is, Franky's got the beautiful winter bush there. Danny, you have the nice mustache and beard, and just today I shaved.
I was going to say that. Gee.
And you know what, Franky? Not only does it look good, I smell nice. The aftershave, the nice cheap brute stuff.
Really I can smell the brute. I just put some on as well. You know what I'm talking about. The Italians do it well.
Danny, that'll clean your sinuses out, right?
Yeah. I thought you used Old Spice.
Come on, that's my body wash.
Old Spice was a classic. Old Spice was a classic. Yeah.
So listen, guys. So episode 5, right? Pizza Makers. The whole intention, really, of this podcast is we'll kind of revisit each one. And this was really a special one because we hosted a cooking show. The Pizza Makers did a cooking show, and Danny did a scene in Italian. You really speak Italian, Danny, right?
I do, and it's funny as you do it. And my Italian mother's actually beeping in during this. She must know. She must know. I love your mother.
She's so cute. Yeah,
I love the Italian, and it's great because now I'm living up here in Maine. I just joined the Italian Heritage Center up here. So now I get to speak even more Italian and swear even more. I mean, it's truly a blessing to be able to have the Italian background.
It's such a commodity, huh?
It really is.
So, all right. So let's talk about Franky. Usually you set the scene up here. So Franky, I hosted the cooking show, and you and your partner Lou were doing a cooking demonstration, and so set up the scene, and hopefully maybe Danny, you can remember the lines. How did Danny's character come to you?
Okay, I was making the pizza, and I was cutting up the peppers, and after I was putting the peppers on top of the pizza with the mozzarella cheese and all the ingredients, Danny walked in with the apron on. He's a pepperoni salesman. And he's telling me,
what's a pepperoni supply guy?
Pepperoni supply guy. And he's telling me, you don't have, in Italian, you don't need the pepperoni, or you don't need the Viagra, he kept saying. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell he's talking about. But that was a beautiful scene. He did a great job in that.
So if I can try to recreate it, I happen to have this waiting for about, look at this. I mean...
We would love you to recreate that. Allora, right? Let's hear it.
Allora, qualcuno serve un pezzo di pepperoni? They non serve la pastica de Viagra. Well, somebody was looking for a pepperoni stick. Hence the pepperoni stick. I guess you don't need Viagra. It was just comical.
Franky's reaction was so real, Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I said, well, what the hell? It was unbelievable. It was a great line. That was a great scene.
You did a great job, Dan. We filmed it at a place because they had a kitchen demo, right? Like
they did.
They sold kitchens in Medford, right? So we filmed it there. We had a lot of people on that set. We had characters, and of course, Laura Pizzuti. And I always want to give a shout out to, of course, Ed Carey, who did all the production, the video, and we were all helping on audio. And our good friend Mike Palumbo, Sausage,
Mike D,
take it.
Unbelievable.
And Danny, not only did you did you work as an actor, but you doubled as helping Mike go get the actual pizzas, right?
I did.
So before I forget, the funniest story wasn't even on the set. It was what happened.
That's right.
So Franky, you tell us about the pizza you made on camera. Tell us about that pizza.
Then we put it in the oven, and then we all started eating it. And there was an extra pizza left over, and I put it in the box. And I said, Danny wants to take it home. So Danny put it on the top of the roof of his car, but he forgot that it was on the roof of the car. And he took off. Good thing he ended up in the parking lot, before he got on the highway, and he took it off. He took it home, and he put it in the oven, and he baked it. And he said it was fantastic.
It was.
What? Tell us your end of the story.
It was the best pizza. And
That's
I said, who is beeping? Why are you guys screaming at me like I'm ready to hit someone?
That was funny.
And then I look on top and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, there's a pizza. And I went home. We can add this hopefully to this. I'll send you the photos, Chris.
Would you, Danny? That would be great. Yeah.
I have the photo of the pizza that I believe there may be footage of it on top of the car. And I have one that I actually took after I cooked it.
I remember that.
Mhm. The best pizza.
That was unbelievable. That was
a great scene. That was a great time. Wow, that was great.
So let's talk a little bit now. When I had Laurie on, we were talking about web series, and what was unique was, right, we were a web series. Are there any locally produced web series? Is anybody doing that now? I don't think so.
No, not that many. Very, very few, if there's any. We had pizza makers. I go on set a lot. As you know, I do a lot of movies, a lot of different things, and I get that question all the time. Where's pizza makers? We enjoyed watching them. We laugh. We have a lot of fun watching. We enjoy them. When they coming back on? And I just say we take a little hiatus right now, and then when Chris is ready, he'll get in touch with us and we'll start filming. We'll see what happens. I said, because especially the people in Rhode Island, Chris, Providence people love it.
I think one thing that to piggyback on Franky said is the authenticity is that we were just all Italian folks get together and just making comedy that was improv, that was on the cuff, that was scripted.
100 miles an hour too, right? Remember how fast we went?
Oh my goodness, it was in and out because we had that very limited time. And that in a sense is what you're doing with podcasts. You have a very limited time. Like this segment is 10 minutes. So you have a stretched time to get what you want in and to get in and out, deliver the message on what you want to do and be able to, deliver the sachi.
and I say to Franky, I say, I wonder how we got it done sometimes, right? In 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, right? And sometimes, the lighting wasn't so great. Maybe the audio was, and the comments, of course, I heard one of the comments that stood out. I don't know where it was, because, people even, guys, you don't understand. People even created like phony websites to like insult us, to insult me. Somebody said it looked like a bunch of 8th graders tried to do a Sopranos episode, right? And I said, well, have you seen an 8th grader's homework? It's not easy. but you know what I mean? At least we went out there and did it, and we tried, and we did 12 episodes.
I think everybody did a great job in it, and I think everybody put their heart and soul into it, and people wanted to do a good job, and they were having fun. So it's all about having fun. And it's all about acting and you can make a reel for yourself, a demo reel out of it.
And that's the reason one thing I want to bring up too is because, people say, well, Franky's character is also Franky. I had to give your character the name Franky because you yourself have such a strong personality, right? Like I couldn't give you a different name. People wouldn't believe, like there is parts of Franky in the Franky character,
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit. I've been doing a few self-taping interview auditions for some stuff coming up here, and I want to get some acting advice from you guys on auditions, like what it's like, what you guys do. We talked about memorizing stuff, but we'll start with Danny. Danny, have you been? I know you're up in Maine now, but but have you you probably kind of pulled yourself out of the acting game a little bit because you're running radio stations?
Yeah, so I've done a slew of films when I was in Massachusetts, and the good news is I was talking to Franky before we came on here, is that I'm going to actually be rejoining. I've actually been on suspended status with SAG because I've been up here in Maine, haven't been able to find anything, so I'm going to be rejoining SAG, which is a good thing, and coming down to Massachusetts. But I came up here to Maine 2017. Got called to produce a morning show, and I said, I never produced a morning show for radio. Took the opportunity, went off with a hitch, and it's a conservative talk show. And recently, I just got promoted to assistant program director.
That's incredible.
News Radio, WGAN, Southern Maine's heritage radio station, covers all of Southern Maine. Breaking news, we're covering it. We're having senators on that you can believe, Senator Susan Collins. And so we're able to deliver local news as well, and being able to do it. I also host a public affairs show, which is heard across all of our 8 stations.
What time does that air? I got the app last week. What time does that air?
So WGAN Morning News is weekday mornings, 6 to 9. You can download the TuneIn app or WGAN.com. You can listen. It's a WGAN Morning News with Matt Gagnon. I'm the producer. And our morning news guy is on it, delivering our local news headlines, straight, live, and direct, and local from 6 to 9. It doesn't get any better than that. And then it follows, routine programming. You know them better. We have Grace Curley. We have Howie Carr. So we have a whole
you have Hugh Hewitt, who I shared a studio with. I worked Salem Radio Group, and Hugh Hewitt is a really big name in talk show. And so you're actually, but that I want to know what time that public affairs show where you host. I'd love to hear you. What time does that air?
Absolutely. So if you go to mainpoints.org, mainpoints.org, and I'll send a link out to everyone. It airs at 5 and 5:30 across all of our 8 stations at Portland Radio Group. And I'm interviewing anywhere from local officials that are really making an impact to local fire departments, police stations, Maine 211, the opioid pandemic, any government officials that's willing to come on, their nonprofit organizations, and just really getting the awareness on the good that's being done in the state of Maine. So, and to be able to do that the last 5 years is truly a blessing. To be able to hear, hey, good morning, and it's pre-taped. I tell everyone, I'm not live at 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
I want to tell you, Danny, I've known you a long time, and you have really hustled to work up the ranks. And we chatted along the way. I mean, we met at the Joya Bruno show at the Star 93.7 show. About it's got to be 20 years ago, like 22. It was, yeah. Right, and we partied with Debbie Gibson, and there was some Jack Daniels involved. And oh my God. I'm going to come back to Danny. Franky, so give some advice when you walk into the audition room. Like I said, it's funny, it comes in spurts. I've done a few in the last couple of weeks. How do you shake off nerves? Does it come with confidence in learning the script? Or what's tough too for a lot of people is the eye line to try it when you're auditioning. You got any tips on that?
Well, I was telling you earlier, when I study a script, I usually read it into a mirror. And that's a good point, because it's like you're talking to someone. It's like someone else is in the room with you, and it kind of relaxes you a little bit more, and you get more confidence in yourself. So that's one tip on that. But, you take your time, you study the scripts, you can put them on cards, index cards, and you can keep flipping over on your lines. But I also do is when I study a script, I also try to memorize the lines for the person that's in front of me, his last line.
For the cue, right.
Yeah. So this way here, you don't get mixed up. So you know you know exactly where you are, at all times.
Danny, what about when you walk? I know you haven't in a while, but when you walked into the audition room, I know you did auditions. What'd you do? What'd you do to loosen up to maybe get it right for you?
I'd scream in the bathroom like a little girl. It's really about.
You are so delicate like that, anyways.
I am, and it's really about developing yourself, finding yourself within that character, and finding, is it a dark character, is it a comedy character, and really just taking a moment to be in that character, being yourself for that particular moment. So when you go in there, you're living that actual scene, you're recreating that actual scene, you are in the moment. And that, I think that's the advice that I would give someone. Just be your natural self. If it's asking for a giddy comedic person, go by the guidelines of what it is, but be yourself. We're all actors. You know, we fake it till we make it all the time is what they say. But I think and this doesn't help. You know, this helps out a lot, you know, sometimes in the business.
Was that, that looked like something the Village people might use?
Probably they had probably, you know, I bought a couple of different sizes. I wasn't sure, like, you know.
Franky, do you see how prepared he came with the hard salami and the pepperoni?
Yeah, you always have to. You have to appease all the audiences.
I'll tell you, we had such a good time. All right, so we're going to talk about our pizza picks real quick here. You know, who cares about what I think? But I want to mention this place in Swampscott called Volo, Vollo. Everyone's talking about, and it's Detroit pizza. You guys know what Detroit style pizza is?
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like almost Sicilian pizza, and they have, because it's square, it's buttery, and they put the sauce on top. So that's my pick for this week. Franky, what do you have this week?
Well, this week, a great place for pizza is Razzo's Bar and Grill on Mystic Avenue in Medford. Fantastic. You sit at the bar, it's like an old-fashioned barroom type pizza, but they make all kinds, pepperoni, margarita, you know, like mushroom.
Is it thin? Is it thicker? How does it come out?
It's not thin. It's thin. It's a very thin pizza, but it's a nice crust underneath. You know, it's like a really very, very tasty. They do a great job. I'd give it a 5 stars. Excellent.
All right. So, Danny, this is important because you're going to have to tell us what's going on up there in Maine. You can give us a few places. I know you must go out for pizza up there. So
to begin with, there's one place. You know, I got to give a shout out to Boston, to Pizzeria Regina. I mean, when I come down there, I have to. But there's a fantastic place called Pizziola's.
What is it again?
Pizziola's.
Okay, yeah. Where are they?
Pat's Pizza. They're right in Portland, and there's also a chain of Pat's Pizza that I can think of off the top of my head. But it's really hard to really be from a really good North End pizzeria and you leave the state, you really can't top it. But I found some different places.
I'm not even going to ask you about Chinese food like Kowloon, right? That's the whole You're not going to find a Kowloon up there, right?
No, never will find it.
All right, what else for pizza? You can give us a couple more. Anything else?
Not off the top of my head.
But so that's what's that place like? Is it like wood fired oven? Is it traditional?
It's a traditional. Then you have Italian. There's other places that I can't think of off the cuff right now. But here's where it comes to be prepared is the pop culture and being able to do that and being script ready. So understanding pizza places. I should have done some research on some pizza places, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. But I'll send you some.
I probably should have prepped you a little bit, but I was having a meltdown with the computer because what else? Good old Zoom technology. We've only been doing it for 2 years, right? You're probably at the radio station grabbing a lot of audio from Zoom these days too, right? Are you doing anything like that?
Say that again.
Are you grabbing audio from Zoom these days for your radio shows, or
most of them over the phone?
I love it. I love to hear that because I hate hearing the Zoom audio. And just to geek out a little bit, next time I want to go back to audio podcasts, but I want to have you, when we interview, send me your MP3s. I know you know how to do that, right? So we're going to...
MP3s are the way to go. When the pandemic hit, I had to pivot and do all of my recordings, and people had to do Zoom. And I said, really? I'm like, I will have you on the phone. I will get you on a clear line if I have to call you 2 or 3 times.
Sure.
Get them on a crystal clear line. We have great technology at the station, great engineering, and yeah, the Zoom calls, you can tell you get the lag. And then I'm not a cat, Your Honor. I'm not a cat. You've seen all the mishaps on Zoom.
That's unbelievable. So, all right. So we're going to wrap it up here in a minute. So, Franky, we're going to talk about when we go to the next episode that Danny did. I think it was deeper, like 10 or 11. Danny was looking to be. We lost our other pizza maker, the actor that, I mean, not in real life, but the character. We wrote him off. So we needed another pizza maker, Franky. So do you recall the scene when Danny came in looking to be hired as the other pizza maker? It was also an Italian.
Well, we interviewed several people for the job. Danny was one of them, and he sat down. He did a good interview. I forget exactly what he said, but it was funny.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but we interviewed about 9 or 10 people. I guess there was Laurie, London Hall, there was Danny, there was so many people. Laurie, me and Laurie we were like the judges.
Oh my God.
It was, and I remember bringing the set there and setting it up. I brought some of the coffee. And
like little special cups, right?
Yes, and was
able that's right. Okay, that's right. Now I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, was that funny? And I'll tell you, Danny always has great attitude, on set and everything. And again, Danny, it's great to see you hustling like that and your leadership up there.
I remember a little. He said like, in Italian, "Where's the pea cup?" He was thinking,
scusa, dove deve pisciare dentro? Meaning, where do I have to pee into? And I remember you looked at one another like, what is this guy saying? Ma che sta facendo?
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, that stuff was so underrated. You did a really good job on that. That was, and I gotta say, in that episode, God rest his soul, Vin Earnshaw, who passed away.
Yeah, Vinny,
was in that too. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here because the internet, cannot take, there's no attention span anymore. So, so Danny, how can people, if they want to connect with you, see what you're doing personally and at the radio station, what do you think? How they kind of
shoot me an email on my work email. I always enjoy Danny@WGAN.com. That's the way to email me. Follow me on Instagram, Danny on Air. On my IMDb page, it is Daniel Martinetti. So there'll be some stuff hanging up on there, and just be able to follow me. I'll be making some pit stops down in Massachusetts.
I was going to ask you. Yeah. You're gonna come down and see Debbie Gibson in May or June, or with me?
You know what? I'd love to. Send me the info on that. I'm looking to plan my.
We'll have to. I gave her. She owes me a favor. I gave her 2 tickets to the Vegas show. But anyways, a different story for a different day. Franky, so again, remind people how they can reach you.
Franky and Bergamo on Facebook, also at Franky and Bergamo on Twitter, and FrancoJ1@MSN.com.
Beautiful.
Those are the 3 things that I get most of my contact information from.
So Danny, well, you can say one more thing here. Up in Maine, what do you recommend to the Italians living up there? And you drive a few towns over, I guess. Men are men and sheep are afraid, right?
It really is, and that's one of the things I actually miss is the Italian vibe. And one of the reasons why recently I joined the Italian Heritage Center is that
that's awesome.
I want to keep it going. The younger generation and those that are interested live in Maine. Hit me up. I'd love to get you introduced. I love speaking Italian. I'm taking an Italian course starting in April
and
awesome. Be able to get back. Yeah, and it's just being proud of who you are. You're an American Italian, speak Italian, and just keep it going. Ciao tutti, ci vediamo domani, un'altra sera.
Good job.
and Franky, so we'll wrap it up here. What are you cooking this week? You inspired me last week. You talked about a chicken cacciatore. I made a sausage cacciatore, right? I did the whole cacciatore, except I put a hot sausage. I put roasted potatoes, red peppers, onions, and everything, and I put over some vermicelli pasta.
Beautiful.
Because it's been so cold, right? So I wanted something hot. We had a little bit of gas in the house after, but what are you going to do?
It's all right. Hey, as long as you enjoy yourself and eat healthy, you know. And yeah, this weekend I'm gonna probably make. I think I'm gonna make some fresh clams, shrimp and scallops over linguine, like a Fra Diavolo over angel.
So for the Fra Diavolo means the devil, right? What do you use?
Yeah,
Dry pepper? Where do you get the heat from?
Yeah, you put about a tablespoon of red pepper in it.
Red pepper
in the
There it
sauce.
is.
Oh my God, doesn't that sound good? Yeah.
It makes it spicy and hot, you know, which is very good. And you have some crusty Italian bread and some red wine, and you're all set.
Oh my God. All right. Well, Danny, we're gonna go out clubbing and dancing and just, you know, spilling
Absolutely.
Jack Daniels on us.
You know, if you come up to Maine, there's a wonderful place. It reminds you of nostalgia. It's called Bubba's Silky Lounge.
Oh yeah.
It's a club that will bring you back right to the early 80s, where it has the floor that lights up. Friday nights, it's 80s and 70s and 80s, all dance, all in the ceilings
Really?
have bicycles hanging from, lunch boxes. It's like you step into the 70s and 80s.
It's like a
You will love
polyesters,
it.
what polyesters used to be, right? Something like that.
Exactly. And there's people, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I saw one guy with a wheelchair once, like going in and out of there. I was like, yes.
So maybe we could walk in there carrying those pepperonis you have.
But they'll
You
be
should walk
waiting.
in
They'll
there.
be waiting.
We should walk in with the pizza makers t-shirts on.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys. I can't thank you guys enough. And we're going to talk to you again, Danny and Frankie. We'll talk to you next week. This has been the Pizza
Okay,
Makers
thank you.
Podcast.